Imagine standing at the edge of a crowded room, voices clashing like swords in the air. You feel the urge to speak, to prove, to declare, to be heard. But then it hits you. What if the real power lies in not speaking at all? The greatest players in history knew this truth. Machiavelli's prince didn't survive by announcing his moves. He thrived by mastering silence. Yet today, we worship noise. We equate visibility with strength, mistaking the loudest voice for the most powerful. But what if we've been deceived? The illusion of noise. Every word you don't say is a weapon kept sharp. The more you reveal, the more others control your narrative. The louder you are, the easier you are to manipulate. This is the paradox. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Yet, we fear it. Why? From birth, we're conditioned to believe that to exist, we must declare ourselves. A baby's cry brings attention. A child's question earns praise. An adult's opinion is currency. Silence, then, feels like surrender, like fading into irrelevance. Nietzsche warned, "He who cannot obey himself will be commanded." The compulsion to speak isn't freedom. It's obedience. Obedience to the fear of being forgotten. The cost of constant noise. Modernity has turned this fear into fuel. Social media, news cycles, personal branding, all scream the same lie. If you're not speaking, you don't matter. So we talk, we post, we explain. We fill every silence, terrified of the void. But Schopenhauer saw the cost. The more a man's mind is occupied with others, the less he has left for himself. The more you externalize, the emptier you become. Look around. Conversations are now monologues waiting their turn. Relationships are transactions of self-disclosure. Politics is theater. The internet rewards outrage, not wisdom. And the most dangerous casualty? Thought itself. Neuroscience confirms it. The brain cannot think deeply while speaking. True insight requires silence, yet we live in a world that pathologizes stillness. Boredom is a sin. Pauses are awkward. Reflection is a luxury. The result? A civilization of reactive minds, mistaking speed for intelligence and volume for truth. The silent rebellion. The first rule of power? You do not owe the world your words. Rebellion begins when you stop feeding the machine. Notice the tension in your chest when you resist speaking. The itch in your fingers to react. These aren't impulses, they're addictions. And like all addictions, they weaken when starved. Start small, minutes of deliberate silence, then hours. Schopenhauer called it the luxury of being oneself. But this isn't retreat, it's recalibration. Study the masters. Kafka burned 90% of his writings. Tesla built inventions in his mind before touching a wire. Hitchcock revealed his plots only when the cameras rolled. Their genius wasn't in output, it was in restraint. The world will call you arrogant, secretive, disengaged. Let it. When the pressure mounts, ask, am I hiding or am I gathering strength? The ultimate truth. Here's what no strategist will tell you. Silence isn't a tactic. It's the essence of power. Machiavelli's real lesson wasn't about manipulation. It was about sovereignty. Speech is expenditure. Silence is compound interest. Every unspoken word is energy saved. Every withheld opinion is a move undisclosed. Identity isn't built through declarations. It crystallizes in the spaces between them. Think. When have your deepest truths arrived? In chatter or in stillness? This is why all spiritual traditions return to silence. The Buddha under the Bodhi tree, Christ in the desert, Muhammad in the cave. Not because divinity whispers, but because it only speaks when we stop. And here's the final paradox. The quieter you become, the more your presence amplifies. Watch how rooms tense when a silent person finally speaks. See how rare words hold more weight than constant noise. Feel how unspoken boundaries command more respect than any argument. You've been taught that power is taken through force. The ruthless know it's claimed through restraint. So let them fill the sky with their words. You are the silence beneath them, and silence cannot be conquered. Now dash, go, and say less than you know.